What's up, everybody? Well, like I said earlier in the week, this is the one week that I was obligated to be somewhere. Things start popping off everywhere, and there's no way I can do all the videos I've got in my head. So now, by the time I get them done, it'll all be over. And that's after a month of pretty much nothing at all happening in the news cycle. Same thing happened a couple Octobers ago. I was out in the deer woods, and, well, 7 days into the month, something happened. So they are spending big money out there on what's going on today. I mean, they got websites with interactive maps, all kinds of signs printed up, a huge management staff, then the agent provocateurs. And this is a giant coordinated effort. And we're not talking about just the big cities. This is getting down into the towns of around, 10, 20,000 people. Just for example, here's 3 mid-sized towns in Kentucky, and then they've got meetup spots in each of these towns. Granted, most of these aren't going to be very big, but that takes a lot of effort to get all of this coordinated. And they readily admit that it's hundreds of groups and so-called nonprofits that have been getting billions from USAID for years, as well as other well-known billionaires that I'm not going to mention just yet. We'll get to them. And it just generally looks like this.
Hey, I'm just documenting you guys putting all your protest stuff in a van. It's very nice of you. How far did you travel to come to protest today?
That's not really your concern.
I'm just a journalist, so I'm just curious,
Okay. Are you with a news agency?
Yeah, independent.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So is there any questions that I can answer you for?
Yeah, where do you guys come from today?
We live here in the DC area.
Then when you have a van full of stuff.
Well, you might know that there is a road here.
Yeah, no.
Roads are great for transporting things.
Just, I can videotape on a sidewalk,
It's
so.
okay, I got it. No, I'm not stopping you from videotaping, am I?
Yeah, I'm not gonna interrupt you guys.
I'm just trying to understand.
Just interesting you guys are putting everything in a van, and you're getting really mad about it. That looks really suspicious.
I'm just trying to make sure that you have, all the answers that you want.
Are you guys paid?
So.
How much did Soros or Reid Hoffman pay you to come protest Trump today? Come on. Was it good? Did you get paid well? I'm a journalist, so but yeah, how much are you guys getting paid?
This is my career. How much are you?
Do you guys have fun?
Oh, wait, how much are you?
Like I said, I'm a journalist. My pay doesn't matter. I'm here to document the rally.
Okay. Well, the rally is over, so thanks for coming.
Do you guys get paid today? Oh, you don't want me to get the license plate? Why? Why? Because I don't know. If you guys are a legitimate grassroots, you shouldn't be worried about it.
You guys see that look when he asked who's funding all this? But here's what's funny is I've seen several people talk about this and nobody just read the t-shirts that they're wearing. This is the PSL. That's the Party for Socialism and Liberation. It's headquartered out of San Francisco, and those people look a lot like they came from San Francisco, but I know every major city has really screwed up the minds of people that are forced to go to their public schools. The PSL describes itself as a revolutionary social party, as the party believes that only a revolution can end capitalism and establish their new ism. They exist to carry out the struggle for Soch inside the United States, the center of world capitalism and imperialism. The PSL stands in solidarity with working class and oppressed people around the world. No, you don't. It's been the exact same playbook since the inception of this comradism. You get one class of people upset and then sick them on another class of people because all the problems of your country are their fault. The 2 big ones, Russia and China, they got the industrial workers, city people, convinced that the farmers and the agricultural class of people were out in the country living like the bourgeoisie while you guys are suffering here in the city. And the end result in both cases were a lot of people starved. Now, today they're not going after the working class. These are not working class people. These are people that think having to wait 5 minutes for their caramel macchiato is violating their rights. And these people are at the very bottom of the totem pole. Now let's jump up to the very top.
Look, there are, like I said, over 2,100 of these events all over the country. We have done this before. This isn't our first rodeo. We had about 1,300 events all over the country for the hands-off protests on April 5th. Now, those were boisterous, they were joyful, they were powerful. There was not a single instance of violence or property destruction reported in 1,300 events all across the country. So if you are brand new.
So this is Ezra Levine, nice Italian boy, and he runs an organization called Indivisible. Here he was just couple months ago. And notice how Rachel is trying to frame this as a loosely organized grassroots event.
The theme under which this is sort of loosely organized is hands off. I've seen people use all sorts of different types of phrasing around the different types of protests that they're going to be part of, and it seems like it's lots of different groups who are organizing, and in some cases it's no groups, it's just individual people who are coming out with their friends and neighbors. But it seems like the hands-off messaging is the most overarching phrase that we're going to hear tomorrow, and the most overarching idea, right?
One of the beautiful things about this is it's meeting people where they are. We're all coming to this for a different reason. We can say, hands off the Department of Education, hands off our Social Security, hands off our Medicaid, hands off trans kids, hands off our communities, hands off our civil rights, hands off our democracy. Different things are bringing different people to this fight. That's good. That's okay. We can all come together and say,
well, I see this as loosely organized under the idea of hands off. Vic, you just opened up your segment showing them making the signs in their big warehouse here in San Francisco. Once again, I'm telling you guys, San Francisco, Chicago, and New York, these are the big epicenters. But do you have any idea what that workspace costs in San Francisco? That's like a $5,000 a month flat right there. And I don't know if you've been to the art supply store in your life, but that stuff is expensive. And like I said last video, these people have no belief system, no values, no morals, and they know that they don't have anything to actually offer society. So it doesn't matter what your grievance is, just come out and complain. That's all we want, is for you to come out and complain no matter what the topic is. As long as you blame Blumph, we're cool. Guess what? It ain't Blumph that's destroyed every major city in America in the last 60 years. So now, guys like this, they're not worried about the cities anymore. They've got them on lock. They're going after the smaller districts. And every time you confront them about the funding for this, they throw their hand on their hip and give you that little beepity beep look. I'm telling you, I was done with humanity by the time I left the Bay Area, and then I went to Durango, and it's just as bad there. Anyway, the progressive group Indivisible was the ones behind all of the Tesla spontaneous combustions, and now appear to be getting involved in key congressional swing districts, not just this one. But there you go, it's no secret they've received more than $7 million from this dude since 2017. It says in this article that all of this started in 2016 because Blumph won, and now they have a movement of thousands of group leaders and more than 1 million members taking regular actions to resist everything they're told to resist. None of these people can tell you one thing they want to see for this country. They just know that everything's messed up and Blumph bad.
Large platform on this app on the internet, and you have decided, you have made the conscious choice to not speak out against the ICE raids that are taking place in this city right now, the attack that Los Angeles is feeling in this moment, if you're not sticking your head out for your own community, the city of Los Angeles in which you live, that you benefit so much from, if you can't do that, you do not deserve your platform, and maybe you should fucking move.
She used a curse bomb. She is like super serious. So, do you guys want to tell her or you want me to? If you are a resident of the United States of America, and you've made a conscious decision to not speak out as millions of foreign military-aged men have infiltrated our country, the attack on our sovereign nation, if you're not sticking your head out for your own country in which you live and you benefit from, you don't deserve to be here, and maybe you should fucking move. You know, these educated people are seriously too dumb to make that connection. Oh, it's okay to stand up for LA, but it's not okay to stand up for America. You stupid twat. You know what the number one argument was for why women shouldn't have suffrage? It's because if women were allowed to vote, then everything would just be based off of emotion instead of cold hard facts and reason. And now that's all politics is emotion. You know, we hear over and over all of these things that these people are against, but ask any of them, what is it that you want America to be? And they're going to say, I want the patriarchy to burn. Okay, but what is it you're trying to accomplish out of that? What is it you want for America? Well, I want blacks and browns as people to be treated as equals. Well, we've already got that. As a matter of fact, they get all kinds of extra bonuses to soothe their marginalized oppression. Well, I want the gays to be able to live their life how they want. Have you seen the Castro district? Well, I think women should have the right to do whatever they want with their body, which really translates to we should be able to off as many babies as we want. Well, yep, we got that one covered too. But then when it comes to this, my body, my choice is right out the window. See, all these things they want from America, they already get from America. With the added bonus of you don't have to worry about the cartel throwing you in the back of a van if you have a flat tire on the side of the road. So you know what? This country was built by a bunch of strong men that understood that you have to have law and order. You also have a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, no matter what it is that makes you happy, as long as you're not violating someone else's rights. I was up at the junk store a couple weeks ago and saw this. This is what America was 100 years ago. So let's play the poor me game. What about the grandchildren of these people that have no house to sleep in because they brought in 20 million noobs and they're living there now? What about the grandchildren that don't have any jobs because somebody else is doing that job now? No, we can't play that game? Okay, what about the grandchildren of these people? Well, see, a couple years ago, they were really important, but now...
About stopping a black woman from going to work.
Oh, no, not work. I care so much.
So you don't care about stopping black people from going to work?
Look at this line that you guys are causing. I'm not causing no problem. I'm not causing women.
Like I said, these people have no beliefs and they have no convictions. If it was 2020, they would have all made a human bridge to drive this lady over the crowd. But now it's 2025 and you're not the right demographic. And here's probably the worst thing is these people aren't even being paid. These are the people that they've just completely mind virused. And all they care about is being able to brag about their part in stopping Blump at the next art opening they go to. And I'm really not kidding. If you want to see people that peaked in junior high and think that that's the height of society, go into one of these cities and go to an art opening. What they call art is one of their buddies hot glued some macaroni to a box, and they all get sloshed while patting themselves on the back for being the height of humanity. I'm telling you, by 2019, I had figured out that Yuri Bezmenov was right. They done planted these seeds 50 years ago, and now we're seeing the flower children of the flower children. These are second and third generation comrades, and I really can't tell you enough how much I dislike them. Nor can I tell you what I think should be done about this situation, but best case scenario, just ignore them and let them throw their little hissy fit, because the other scenarios don't end well for them. Static out.